title of our symposium this year is Unity in Diversity, as every year, but this time the subtitle is Towards a Bright Future. And we've been in touch with some of our students and devotees who are not sure about the future because they're experiencing now another wave of COVID and restrictions, and they start to, some of them feel some kind of a despair. So do you have any words to share on this, any advice?
Well, you know, honestly and truthfully, I'm sorry, Rukmini, but this is samsara. This is the round of birth and death and redeath endlessly. And nobody ever said that samsara was a joyride. And we shouldn't expect that it will be because, you know, the actions of human beings on this planet have not really created the kind of results of joy and happiness and peace when we ourselves are constantly in the grip of greed and anger and, you know, various desires. So no wonder we are in the mess we're in. We've created it, all of us together. We're all guilty. So the thing is, to my mind, the thing is to accept that, to accept the fact that samsara by its very nature is unsatisfactory. We are not in control. Life is very insecure. And once we accept that, strangely enough, it's a relief because we're not always trying to make everything go the way we think it should go. It's going to go the way it's going to go. And what we need to do is to adapt ourselves inwardly to having the inner strength and clarity to deal with situations as they come up, even when there's situations which we do not ourselves wish for. If we always can only be happy and at peace when things go the way I want them to go, then we are always going to be challenged because things are not going to go the way the ego wants. Things are going to go the way the things are going to go. What we need to do is not so much worry about changing things on the outside. As much as we can do, but we're never going to really change much if we do not change what's going on inside. And to give in to paranoia or fear and hatred is simply adding more darkness to the psychic pollution which we are living in. I mean, if we talk a lot about pollution and we're thinking a little bit, you know, like this thick, heavy cloud around the cities and so forth, and they show you from space all the pollution in the planet. But the real pollution is our psychic pollution, which is put out by our thoughts and feelings and emotions out into the atmosphere. And that is what we have to really, really be very careful about, not to plug into that dark energy, not to plug into all the anxiety and the anger and the division which is happening in the world at this time, but to counteract that by giving out love, by giving out compassion. One of the things about this whole epidemic is that it's not just over there in Africa or in some kind of obscure place. It's everywhere. And it's not just the poor. It's everybody. And it's not this race or that race. It's everybody. We're all in this together. You can be a multi-billionaire and still get COVID. You can be living in the slums and get COVID. And really, COVID is just COVID. It's totally non-discriminating. And so if we feel concerned about our own situation, the situation of our loved ones and our family, we can extend that to having compassion for the whole world because we are all united in this together, and send out positive thoughts. Don't send out more negativity. This is really my feeling, that one thing that people on the spiritual path can do is to create inner positivity and not be negative, not get into, vaccines or non-vaccinations and all this polarity, which is happening nowadays in the world. But instead to recognize we're all in this together. And this is something which ironically unites us, actually, and shows our common humanity. And that is the foundation for us feeling our empathy and our compassion and our willingness to try to help in whatever way we can. So rather than dwelling on anxieties and worries and whether this is going to change or not change, everything is impermanent. But to gain the inner poise of knowing that whatever happens, we will have the inner strength to deal with it. And in the meantime, what is happening right now? Don't get lost endlessly in the future and future anxieties. Step by step by step. This is why it's so good that people are at your ashram. They are given tools which they can take back, I'm sure, and use in their daily life to really transform, because the transformation has to come from within. And that inner transformation gradually, like ripples, can spread to the family, to your colleagues, to your neighbors, and eventually throughout the world. Enough of that sermon. But truly, we think that we're here to be comfortable. We're not here to be comfortable. We're here to wake up.